Living alone in Seoul can consume almost 80% of an average local net salary before groceries, transport, or electricity. In London, central rent can take around 70%. New York pays more, but a typical one-bedroom can still absorb nearly two-thirds of the salary. Kuala Lumpur looks dramatically cheaper until the rent is compared with local income. Independence carries costs far beyond the apartment. It includes every monthly bill that no partner or roommate helps divide. So where has living alone become a luxury? While living alone is a personal preference, it requires paying 100% of fixed household expenses from one income stream. This is the singles premium. The mechanics are straightforward. A couple has two incomes to cover rent and utilities. A single renter pays the full cost of an apartment that is often only slightly smaller than a multi-person home. To analyze this burden, we use data for a single adult renting a private one-bedroom. Our comparison assumes they work locally, use public transport, and avoid an extreme luxury lifestyle. The data suggests that for many workers, maintaining basic modern independence now functions as a luxury consumption product. New York City offers the highest net salary in this group, but the city simultaneously demands the highest central one-bedroom rent. This budget scorecard shows a 66% rent-to-salary ratio. A representative net salary of $6,500 is quickly depleted by housing. When groceries, transport, and personal spending are added, the total solo budget reaches $5,500 to $7,000 before any savings. Residents often trade geographical convenience for an outer borough apartment to gain financial room. However, New York's strict landlord qualification rules mean a renter may need an income well above the citywide average just to be approved for a lease. In London, central rent consumes roughly 70% of the representative $4,300 net salary. London adds further pressures like council tax and the utility risks of heating older buildings. The total monthly cost for a central solo lifestyle can approach $5,500. Moving to outer zones can reduce rent to $1,800. But London has one of the world's most expensive transport systems. Much of the rental saving is redirected into the cost of the commute. In both cities, paying central rent leaves an average worker with almost no financial margin to absorb an unexpected bill. This scorecard for Toronto shows a 48% rent-to-salary ratio. For a professional earning $3,400, this creates a superficially manageable monthly budget. Saving money by moving away from the center often introduces mandatory car dependency. Once fuel, parking, and insurance are factored in, the total lifestyle cost frequently matches or exceeds the cost of a central apartment. Sydney combines strong salaries with a severe rent burden. Rent consumes roughly 57% of a representative $4,200 income. The solo renter in Sydney pays a high price for privacy while trying to save a deposit in a severely unaffordable homeownership market. For average earners in Toronto and Sydney, living alone requires sacrificing future wealth and the ability to eventually own a home. Seoul shows a 79% central rent-to-salary ratio when using a conventional monthly rent benchmark. This flowchart explains the trade-off in Seoul's housing system. A renter must either lock up massive amounts of capital in a jeonse deposit to achieve low rent or accept the high monthly burn of a walse structure. In Madrid, a $1,600 rent may seem inexpensive to a foreign worker, but it consumes 64% of the representative local salary. Madrid's efficient metro system makes outer district living a practical, car-free compromise, helping residents maintain an urban lifestyle on a tighter budget. Kuala Lumpur has the lowest nominal rent in this group, yet for a local earner, it still consumes 40% of the representative $1,600 income. Luxury amenities like pools and gyms are highly accessible to foreign remote workers. For local residents, the challenge is finding a rail-connected apartment that doesn't require the added expense of a car. International affordability is often distinct from local affordability. Foreign purchasing power can mask the real financial strain placed on a city's residents. Financial guidelines suggest that rent should consume no more than 35% of your net income to maintain financial health. This table shows the income required to meet that 35% test. In New York, it takes over $12,000 a month. In London, $8,600. In Sydney, $6,800. This illustrates how far average rents have moved from the traditional affordability threshold. Sharing a two-bedroom apartment reclaims significant capital. Renters save between $6,000 and $24,000 annually. To summarize, New York has the highest nominal cost. Seoul and London show the most severe rent-to-salary ratios. Madrid and Kuala Lumpur offer the strongest arbitrage for foreign incomes. Solo living and sharing are different financial strategies within these housing systems. Choosing to live alone simply means purchasing privacy with a single salary. We don't just ask how much money you have, we ask where that money works.